Okay, it's being recorded. So this is Dr. Kathy, and it is April 17th, 2022. And this is Easter Sunday. We are in the middle of Passover and Ramadan. I guess we're in the middle of Ramadan. So the three Abrahamic religions are celebrating deeply, although there's a lot of unrest right now between the Israelis and the Muslims. The Israelis attacked what I understand is the third most important mosque in the Muslim religion. And it has to do with, from what I could gather, it has to do with protests from the Muslims of Israel wanting to evict some Palestinian people from Palestine. And so, in case you don't know, Israel wasn't around. The country wasn't around until I think it was 1948, in which Palestine didn't have any choice in it. The people after World War II decided they would give Israel part of Palestine, and Israel's been trying to get rid of all the Palestinians so that it is just Jews that live there, and that has caused a lot of conflict. So we have that going on right now. So there's that energy going on. We have what's happening in the Ukraine going on. And then, of course, I'm sure there are other places. So it's an interesting time of unrest in various places. And I'm thinking especially in the three Abrahamic religions, where this is supposed to be such a deep time of rejoicing and reverence. So first, heart source. Those of you who are new to this, move into the front of your heart source. Just bring your awareness to the center of your chest. As deep as you can, and then go around in the back, just kind of like you're walking around to your back and looking at your back and moving into the back of your heart center. And go deep within. If you can't feel yourself, if you usually feel things like this and you can't feel yourself going deep within, please be sure and check if you haven't gone all the way into the center. Sometimes people get a little bit too high or a little bit too low or a little bit to one side or the other. There we go. And just keep going deep within. There's a tunnel, hallway, however you want to see it, alleyway that moves into your heart center. Go deeply until you reach this expansive place called your sacred space. And now move into the front of your third eye. And circle around back and go into the back of your third eye. And just intend or establish a beam of energy from your heart chakra to your third eye. Send that beam of energy straight up to the center of the universe. It knows where to go. And now, keeping it at the center of the universe, you're also moving down all the way into the center of the earth, in which you are definitely grounded from two parts and places and centered very much in your heart. Declare chakra spin. Spin as fast as is safe for me so that you can release all the congested energy. Good. I just felt a shift in me. And so I'm going, good. And I'm hoping that all of you had a similar shift. And now connect with your healing team as we establish a floor of light below us, a canopy of light above us, pillars of light in the four corners, and angels, all manner of angels, surrounding the perimeter, forming a wall of protection around us. And your heart source is also a wall of protection. And now there is a central pillar, wonderful beings in the central pillar. Yeshua is there. The Buddha is there. Muhammad is there. Abraham, Moses, Elijah, a lot of the Judeo-Christian saints and masters are there. Also coming to join us, I see Kuan Yin. I see Ganesh. He's the one that looks like an elephant from the Hindu tradition. Isis. Saint Germain. Dwakul. From all different traditions, they're coming. Let us begin with a healing circle. If you would like to say a name to place within the healing circle, we're going to do others other than our very selves first. And I would like to put Michelle and her children, grandchildren, her family, her loved ones in the healing circle. And Joe Wolf, we ask you to join us and receive healing so that you can rest and be at peace. Know that your family will be at peace. It just takes a while. And who else? Anybody else that you'd like to place? And you don't have to say their name if you don't wish, because they'll still be in the healing circle. But if you would like to, please feel free to right now.
Susie Barron.
Thank you. Anyone else? I know that the healing circle's being filled. I can sense it. Anybody else?
My sister Sandy.
Thank you. And I wish to place parts of the world, what is happening in Jerusalem, and what is happening in the Ukraine. And now see yourselves forming a circle around this group of people. Lots of people, especially when we put in the areas, Jerusalem, the Ukraine. And bring in energy from above and below. A good way to do that is chakra spin. And allow that energy to come in above and below. And hold your hands outward, either in your mind or physically itself, asking that all love goes to these people. And Amma and Abba, we ask that this love continue to those that we have in our circle. And now, everyone, I want you to walk into the healing circle. And your angels and your guides are on the outside of the circle, sending energy as we all walk in. And go ahead and just, in your mind and your heart, just state your intention for your own personal healing. And Amma, Abba, I ask you to give a special blessing to each member of our group who is attending live or who are listening to this later. Thank you so much for each one of them being part of this celebration. Thank you for their lives, for their love. And I ask you to bless them and their families and the loved ones they have in their mind in a very special way. And that if you would clear the path, encodement team, we ask you to align their encodements to receive that which they most greatly desire. And soul healing team, I ask you to find and bring back to everyone here all the pieces of themselves that they have lost at any time in this life, to clean, repair, and heal all pieces, and to fully integrate all pieces within them. And so it is. So just relax. Pull up a chair, they're saying. Pull up a chair in the healing lecture room. Make yourself comfortable. Oh, this is interesting. So what I'm being told is I want you to go into your heart. You can go in through the front of your heart center or through the back of your heart center. Go into your heart and ask for a message, and take the first words or sensations that come into your mind or in your heart. And Alma's telling me, remember, don't worry if you think you're making it up. That's fine. And if one message didn't come to you, this is important to know, is that you are loved. Deeply, deeply loved. Each one of us is deeply, deeply loved. Well, thank you for that gift. And now send a beam of energy from your heart to the central pillar, which connects us all together. And I ask also that if you will send a beam of energy to my heart as well. Thank you. And we are going to hear from Yeshua today. So that's the next one that you hear. It is a glorious day today. It is a glorious day because you are here. It is not that I am here. It is that you are here and you are listening from your heart. That is what your heart source is about, which Amma gave to all of you. It is a day when much is happening within this world. It is a day of great celebration and deepness within the Christian community. It was intended to be a week of deep spiritual connection within the Jewish community. And it is a time of deep reflection and sacrifice within the Islamic community. You know, they fast all day, including from water. And they celebrate greatly when the sun goes down. Isn't celebration fun? But now there is concern. And there is concern among others in all of the world of what is happening. Did you know? I think you did, but let me make it more definite. I am not a Christian. I was a good Jewish boy. I celebrated the feast days. Yes, I did have anger toward the Pharisees. I had anger about injustice. The feast days were wonderful, and we followed the calendar. Really, the moon cycles of what came into life. We learned much about giving ourselves to God and to doing what God wanted, to sacrifice ourselves. That is in our tradition. If you take that Bible that you have, there used to be many more stories that would come in, parables, books, writings, and human beings selected what will be in there. How small that is compared to all the wealth of information and wisdom that was given. It is important to realize that when all of this first began, We're talking of the Bible here, what you call the Bible, that stories were handed down by mouth. There was no printing press yet, was there? Many of them were not articulated by writing at all. Yes, there were some scribes, but people wrote down what they had been hearing. And people wrote that down from their own viewpoint as well. So let's talk about that, because that is both what you call the Old or the New Testament, the Hebrew scriptures or the Christian scriptures, which is really what that is. Think about how you choose your own interpretation of any book that you pick up. Pick up a book beside you, or one that you know. It could be a mystery story. It could be something factual or supposedly factual. And you interpret it according to your beliefs, according to your viewpoint. That is what Amma means when she says you are the center of the universe, because the universe looks as you perceive it. Think about 2,000 years ago. That was a long time. 2,000 years ago, there was not the Muslim tradition. There was not the Islamic. Muhammad was not born yet. And blessed be his name, as well as those who follow him say. When was the Hebrew scriptures? 4,000 years ago, approximately? Oh, maybe just 3. If you went back to your archaeological information, what age was that? Iron Age, Stone Age? It wasn't Stone Age, Bronze Age. Think about how long ago that was and how people viewed the world. In your Hebrew scriptures, think about how the Father was viewed with great judgment and ire, that he would destroy part of his creation. And there is this little phrase in what is known as the Gospel of John, of which I said, and I did say, I came to reveal the Father. I came to reveal what love was, what love is. It is not love that is happening in Jerusalem. It is not love what is happening in the Ukraine. It is not love when you pass someone asking for money and you have great derision towards them. It is not love when you say, why don't they get a job? Well, you know, they did. They're entrepreneurs. They decided to stand on the street corner and ask for money. Isn't that an interesting way to look at it? There are some who make their living that way. They stand there as long as they can. Some even make a very good living, and then they go to another place where the weather is better at other seasons. And there are others who stand there embarrassed, with shame, because they cannot support their families as they once did. And I tell you that it does not matter whether you earn your money by owning Amazon or Microsoft, or you earn your money by placing a hat out or making a sign. In all cases, you have choice of whether to open your wallet to those on the side of the street or to open a computer and purchase from Amazon. You have choice. Do you remember it written where I said, the poor you have with you always? And that is true, is it not? You have choice of what you are going to think or feel about the poor. What does my Father think? Abba. What is his view? Does he judge those? Let me tell you, what is written is not true. He does not judge. He loves and he welcomes. The whole concept of judging, of who is good and who is bad, actually comes from human beings with their beliefs and their values. The story of the Samaritan who stopped to help one of not his social grouping, one who was robbed. And that Samaritan saved that other one's life. Why? Because that man had great compassion. And he saw that person as a human being who was important. I told those parables so that you could learn of who the Father is. The Father is like the Samaritan. There is no social grouping. There is no religious grouping. There is simply humanity. There is simply life. Consider what is happening in Israel and the Ukraine. You place them all in your healing circle. Those are actions which show separation, separatism, the belief that one is better than the other. None of you are better than the other. Did you know that I, as I walked upon this planet, was not better than anyone else? My father, my mother, Abba, loved me and continues so with all that they are, and loves me no more than you. Think about that for yourself. Say to yourself right now, the father, the mother loves me as much as they love Yeshua. What does that feel like to you? Does that feel like hubris? It is not. You are deeply loved. In today's society, 2,000 years later, society has changed. Society has changed tremendously because almost everyone is known. Almost everyone is known. There are some Aboriginal tribes that are sequestered somewhere, hiding, that may not be known yet. But the countries are known. The people are known. And humanity has a tendency to stay in that area of it has to be just this group which is important. The poor you have with you always. And at that time and at this time, the poor are derided for not having what it is that other people have. They are derided for not being able to have the job that others believe they should have. And other people decide how they must make their money. What is the difference between locking yourself into an office and standing on a street corner in 100 degrees heat, or the driving rain, or the freezing cold? You are still making a choice to ask for money. And you go, yes, but I work. Do you think it is not work to stand on a street corner for hours? It does not matter. Why is it important for humans to only have one kind, say, their country or their religion, living where they are? Why is that so important? The Father, the Mother, created a vast universe. And when you focus just upon this world, a vast number of people, we'll stick to people and not just the rest of the animal community. Have you gone to various ethnic celebrations? What is it like? What is the experience and the awe that you have when you see the Irish dancing in the way that they dance compared to the Russians dancing in the way that they dance? I'm going to guess that none of you listening know how to do those dances or even have the energy to dance those dances. What is it like? What would it be like to gather in a great hall? People wearing what they consider their costumes, but they don't call it their costumes, their traditional dress. And look at the variety of people that are there. The variety of colors, of styles. And yes, there would be some people there who have very little on. And then there would be those who have much on. There would be people wearing their hair differently or the same. And you take generations, for instance. So you would have young ones who color their hair in multitudes of colors. Does that bother you? How does that impact your life? The only ones whose lives it impacts are those who sneer at it, because they are causing pain within themselves. I came to this planet in this incarnation as Yeshua to open hearts and minds to love, to acceptance, to unity. And that message was feared so much that I was arrested and scourged and crucified, because there was not a desire for there to be unity. How much different this world would be if the world had taken my message of love and it went throughout this planet in such a way that everyone was accepted. And when my friend Siddhartha, the Buddha, when he came and he talked about being detached from what happened in life, and if you combine that with my messages of love, you would see that he is talking about the same thing. Do not hold on to that which is not important. What is not important? A particular way of believing, a particular way of talking, a particular way of dressing, a particular way of earning your money is not important. What is important is your heart being open. Do you remember his story, Siddhartha, one who grew up wealthy? I did not grow up wealthy. He grew up wealthy, and he was shielded by his family from the cares of this world, and he snuck out to go and to look, and he saw the people in poverty. And he came to join them. And he connected with his God to know what to say, what to be, how to be. I did the same, more from a place of just the ordinary person, the ordinary Jewish boy. And my Father filled me with love, and I accepted that love with great awe, as my Father fills you with love. Do you choose to accept it? Do you choose to see the love in others and the love that is given to others? You have great choice, freedom of choice. How will you use it? Be within your heart and use it. Is the fact of resurrection, the stories you hear about my resurrection, and yes, it was the women who came first to see what had happened to me. But do you think the resurrection is the most important? Is it the most important facet of my life? I'm going to tell you no. It was an amazing experience. What was the most important part of my life. It is when I said to my Father, I will receive your love. And I thank you for that love that you freely give me. The rest of my life was built upon that. And it is not that I received that love all at once, because I had to learn how to allow that love to come in. That was part of my humanity. And as I received that love more and more, as I allowed that love to come in, my eyes were opened even more to who my brothers and sisters were. And you may think, but how could that be that you did not know? Do you remember the story of the woman who came to me? She was not of my tradition. The Canaanite woman who came to me and asked for healing of her child. And I told her I did not come for her. I came only for the children of Israel. What did she say? Well, I will tell you that what she first saw was me feeding a dog which had come up and was hungry, and I gave him a portion of my food, a small portion, as some of you have animals that will feed when they come to the table. And she looked at me and said, even the dogs are fed when they come to the table. Can you not heal my child? She opened my heart, her words did, because I realized that I came for more than my community. I came for all, and you have come for all. I gently call you forth to open your heart to receive the love of the Creator, whether you call that Creator Abba or Amma, whether you call that Creator Great Spirit. It does not matter. Open your heart and fear not. Fear not. And true, you do not know what will happen when you open your heart that way. And when your truth leads you to different places, it will lead you to your own garden where you struggle to know what the truth is for you and whether or not you have the courage to follow that truth. I want you to know that the courage is there. The real question is, will you use that courage? Are you willing? Are you willing to use that courage and step out into a way that others may not understand? The courage is there. Do you think that my father, my mother would be upset with you if you did not use your courage? No, they would not be upset with you, because all they can do is love. That is all they can do. Oh, you look at creation and say, but look at everything they created. Look at the stars and look at the moon. And look at the trees and the plants. I can't even grow a plant, you may think. Love. The creation of love. It takes great courage to love. I call you to do that. And as you love, as you allow the love in, you will discover your own resurrection, your own movement into glory. Follow love. Look at the times when the masters from whatever tradition loved, when they gave of themselves, when they called forth people to love. And the more you love, the more you will open the joy from which you were created. And the more you are about doing, as I said, my Father's business. It is your Father's business, your mother's business. It is your business to love. That is my message for you this day. Be filled with joy, love, and accept all of that love which is coming to you. Blessings. Well, I'm not at all sure what Yeshua was going to say to me, but that was really something, wasn't it? That moved me very much, and being in my truth of how we give and how we receive, actually. Receiving is part of it. Well, thank y'all very much for joining all of us on this wonderful day. Keep in your heart those who are suffering, those who have lost loved ones, and some of us have been the ones that have lost, and know that they are all surrounded in love. And follow your truth. And even if you wonder what is that truth, follow what is within your heart and it will be your truth. If you'd like to unmute and tell everybody goodbye, please do.
Thank you, Dr. Kathy. Many blessings.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. And I love you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Explain my
Cleo.
comment.
And thank all of you for being here. And I give special thanks to Amma and to Abba, to Yeshua, to all who have been and made who we are. Blessings to you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
Bye.
Easter, everybody.
Easter.
That's right.